Team Cap or Team Iron Man? Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is the 13th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, came out in 2016, directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, starring Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, and many more. The plot of this film is events in the past involving the Avengers are causing people to fear their actions. So the government wants to issue the Sokovian Accords. Because of the Sokovian Accords, it's dividing our heroes. Team Iron Man says, yes, we should obey these accords, while Captain America sides like, no. Of course, excited since another Marvel movie and Anthony Joe Russo back directing this movie, and I thought, like, how can Captain America the Winter Soldier be topped? It's like, taking Captain America with that movie, making it a spy movie, and now this, it's like bigger, and somehow they pulled it off. And time to say it, out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, this one, I consider it the best one. And I rewatched this movie, and boy, it was worth the rewatch. So worth it, and I was not bored for a minute. Civil War is not just a fantastic superhero movie, not just a fantastic action movie, but a fantastic film in general. Everyone in the cast is on their A game and they're delivering excellent performances. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are, again, excellent as always. Heartbreaking to see these two characters, Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, friends, and now see them like this, with their conflicting ideologies with the Sokovian Accords. It's really sad. It's like, you want these two, can you continue being friends, but the Accords and the casualties and people dying, it's really want to see these two reconcile their friendship despite what's going on, and it's really heartbreaking. And they still maintain what's in their characters and while trying to do what's right for their team. Steve Rogers still maintains a very good, down-to-earth person, and Tony Stark is still Tony Stark. He still has that in him, but with the desire to do good things in spite of these accords. And the rest of performances, everyone cast, awesome. Scarlett Johansson, great. Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, pretty much everyone. There is seriously not one performance in this movie that's like meh or bad. Everyone was great. Yeah, I also want to mention Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther and Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Chadwick Boseman was absolutely amazing as Black Panther, and luckily they set him up very well. He didn't feel shoehorned into the movie. Give you the time to understand his character and what he's trying to do, what purpose he serves to the story, while being amazing in the actions, in and out of the costume. Chadwick Boseman was awesome in this movie. Tom Holland, I still consider him the best Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and I also didn't feel like he was shoehorned into the movie, just throw him there. I was like, look, here's Spider-Man. I think they found the right place to introduce Peter Parker and to introduce him why he's in the Civil War, and Tom Holland was funny, a lot of energy. He's seriously perfect as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Awesome. Tom Holland, perfect. Love it. I gotta say, this is some of the best action in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I am very curious to see how Infinity War is going to top this. Pretty much all of the action scenes in this movie were great. There was seriously not one action scene in this movie that I thought was good, not great. Every action scene in this movie was more than great, including some jaw-dropping stunt work in this movie. The stunt team in this movie deserves some praise. Airport fight is absolutely incredible. Just this 6-on-6 battle, seeing these characters together, the excitement, building up to it, and the jokes, it's funny. I absolutely love this airport fight. It is my favorite action scene in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and again, I'm curious to see how Infinity War will even try to top this. I'm interested to see what happens. Not to mention the absolute heartbreaking final battle between Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Bucky. Just amazing. And what I love about this movie is the characters, their actions, their motivations, they make sense. You understand where everyone's coming from. You understand why they're joining the team. It's not like, well, why are you on that side? Shouldn't you be on that side and this side? Everyone's motivations make sense, and you understand why they're either joining Team Cap or Team Iron Man, either in this movie or make you think about the other movies before this, like either Avengers Age of Ultron or Falcon's appearance in Ant-Man. The motivations make sense, and that's what I love about this movie. There really isn't a clear side in this movie, whether Team Cap or Team Iron Man, and like I mentioned in the intro, I was flipping sides throughout this entire movie. They both kept bringing up equally good points, where I was like, yeah, that is kind of right, but same time, you're right, you're right, you're right. It's really hard to pick a side in this movie, either Team Captain America or Team Iron Man. It's really hard to choose. In some ways, yes, people have died or either injured in these events with the Avengers, but at the same time, do you really trust the government with holding these Avengers? They have agendas, and Captain America says agendas can sometimes change, and yeah, it's really hard to pick a side in this movie. This film probably should have went wrong, maybe hands of another director, and maybe feeling a little similar to another comic book movie. 2016 involved two superheroes battling that got a little messy. Sorry, I have a pretty nasty cough. And yet, I never felt like this story was convoluted or messy in any way. I followed the story just fine. No matter how many things are going on in this movie, I never felt confused or bored throughout this entire movie, and this movie is almost 2.5 hours. I also want to mention the villain of this movie, Zemo. I actually liked this villain, and I didn't really think he was just some generic Marvel villain. I liked how this villain wasn't about combat or anything. He was just focused on one goal: tearing the Avengers apart. In the climax, where we get to learn more about Zemo, you do understand him as a character, and I think he's one of the more underappreciated Marvel villains in my opinion. And honestly, I have no problems with this movie at all. There is not one thing in this movie I do not like. I loved everything about this movie. Overall, I absolutely adore Captain America Civil War. Cast is on their A game. The Russo brothers direct the action very well and did a good job handling the story. It's emotional, dramatic. I absolutely love Captain America Civil War. It is easily my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. I am curious to see how Avengers Infinity War is going to top this movie in any way. Just almost there. And of course, I'm gonna give Captain America Civil War, but bam! 5 out of 5 stars. Not just my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, but one of my favorite comic book movies since The Dark Knight. I love it so much. Captain America Civil War is absolutely fantastic. Alright, one more to go before Infinity War. Doctor Strange, next review. So what do you guys think of Captain America Civil War? Do you agree, disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.